So last time on Dragon Ball Super VE, Goku and King Vegeta had finally begun their rematch, and after Goku had initially been taken off guard and shocked by the existence of the King's Super Saiyan 4 form, in the end, Ultra Instinct made short work of him. That is, until at the very last second, the King revealed his Super Saiyan 4 God form, the same power that made short work of Vegeta. And in today's manga, we'll finally see if Goku can fare any differently. But before we begin, support this video and channel by leaving a like right now as you're reading this and watching till the very end for its completely unexpected conclusion. Enjoy. So our story continues after Goku had just been left stunned by the new Super Saiyan 4 God form of King Vegeta that he saved to bring out until the very last second. Left stunned, Goku mutters, "Huh? What happened? His keys vanished! This aura, I've never seen anything like it." Immediately following this, Goku then removes his hand and jumps back to gain distance in fear. He can't believe what he's even seeing. After all, seeing a Super Saiyan 4 for the first time was enough of a shock, but seeing a Super Saiyan God version of a Super Saiyan 4 is beyond even the realm of possible for Goku. Still looking on in shock, he just lets out, "Mr. Vegeta, this form, it's incredible. What have you become?" To which the King just looks back with a confident smirk and replies, "What have I become? I believe in the words of you spoilt kids. I have become a god! One that has surpassed you and my son in every way. Yes, Kakarot, I have truly gone beyond and honed our natural Saiyan abilities to their limits. Unlike you and Vegeta, who seem to have plateaued at such an early stage, trying instead to increase your powers with Angel and God of Destruction techniques instead of relying on your powerful heritage. You fools!" He then continues, "It seems the best you and Vegeta could ever do was become Super Saiyans while in your God forms, resulting in what you call Blue. And instead of progressing to a Super Saiyan 2 version or even 3, you two could only artificially increase your powers with your Kaioken Blue, as you said, and Vegeta's Evolution Blue. As expected of your lazy generation, you found shortcuts to power, rather than ascending completely like you were meant to, and had been doing all these years before you met that damned Beerus. And so, it's no surprise to me that you never bothered to even go past Super Saiyan 3 either. A mistake you will live to regret." Goku's face hearing this then turns to shock as he realizes, "Wait, are you telling me that this is 2 forms above even a Super Saiyan Blue? That can't be right. If that was true, you'd be..." But in response to Goku's doubts, King Vegeta just cockily smiles and replies with his arms folded, saying, "I don't know why both you and Vegeta find it so hard to believe me. You truly have lost your minds, doubting the king of your entire species. At every turn, I've shown you how my natural ability far surpasses your own, something that's come natural to a Saiyan who keeps his tail. Exactly how many times do I need to show you two brats the difference between royalty and his peasants? Allow me to break it down for your simpleton brain, Kakarot." Before King Vegeta then snaps his fingers and instantly, all of his aura leaves him, as he curiously goes back to his base form. He then continues though, "It seems I'll need to prove to you once and for all who exactly you're dealing with. This is my base form." Suddenly, without warning, King Vegeta then becomes a Super Saiyan God, a form he has not yet shown to anyone, before saying, And this is what a Super Saiyan God is. The form you used on Beerus. Seems familiar, right? A weak form in my eyes, the first of the God transformations. Which of course leaves Goku shocked as he begins to realize King Vegeta may not have been lying, as he whispers, "So, he has become a god? No, then that means..." But before Goku can even finish his sentence, King Vegeta then turns into a Super Saiyan Blue, again for the first time in the entire series. And this is a Super Saiyan version of a Super Saiyan God. The next transformation in our Saiyan God forms. The state you and Vegeta pathetically have yet to surpass, which you like to call Blue. But here is where things get interesting. The true next step for you weaklings. And with that, King Vegeta then turns into a Super Saiyan 2 God, with his aura turning darker and surrounded in an even greater secondary aura. Once again, a new sight for the entire DB universe as he continues, and this is a Super Saiyan 2 God, the true next level of a Divine Saiyan. A bona fide massive increase in power, and not just these pathetic temporary 10 times multipliers you and Vegeta use now. Goku meanwhile just reacts in amazement, for the first time seeing this form. Amazing! This is way stronger than Kaioken Blue. But how did he get there before Vegeta and I could? Why couldn't we do it? A cocky and pleased with himself, King Vegeta then stares at Goku declaring, "So, it seems I have left you speechless and impressed once again, Kakarot. You should know, a Saiyan never lies about his strength. Just as I told you, I've gone past the two of you in spectacular fashion. This Super Saiyan 2 God is only the beginning. Wait till you see the power of your beloved Super Saiyan 3, a form known for its strength but extreme stamina usage, now infused with God Ki. Behold!" Huh? Super Saiyan Blue 3 exists? King Vegeta, suddenly then raising his arms, increases his power level, clenching his fists and tensing his muscles as he prepares for yet another transformation, responding simultaneously, "No! This is not Blue 3. Blue is just a color. Just as a Super Saiyan God's hair is red, so too will the next form change it again. From here, a new level of power entirely is achieved, one only a true-tailed Saiyan could ever use." After a roaring yell, King Vegeta finally becomes a Super Saiyan 3 God. His eyebrows missing once again, and his hair now a dark maroon, as the king then speaks. "And this is the third form. Powerful, yes, but still has these unsightly features. To make matters worse, the hair is now a girly purple. The greatest is what is beyond here. What you know already to send your body quaking. And what will be your end, Kakarot?" Goku, now having watched the king's masterclass in future transformation, just now stands terrified, shocked knowing King Vegeta was not bluffing at all. Damn it! He was telling the truth the whole time! Those were all definitely God forms, alright? I couldn't sense his ki at all. The worst thing is, even cycling all those transformations hasn't made him break a sweat yet. What have you done, Vegeta? Your father's become a monster! But meanwhile, King Vegeta, who can't help but take pleasure in Kakarot's shock, calmly raises his hand and places his fingers in a familiar position, saying, I'm glad you finally will be able to take me seriously. As much as I think I could beat you just as I am, I'll honor your Ultra Instinct by beating you brutally down in my most powerful form also. And just like that, at the snap of his fingers, King Vegeta returns to his final form, his Super Saiyan 4 God form, a form 3 entire levels above Blue, as the King lets out, much better, don't you think, Kakarot? Now, I'm ready to show you the true extent of my progress. I hope you're ready. This won't be pretty. Goku in response, however, just closes his eyes and smiles, replying, well, I did say I wanted a challenge, and like father, like son, you haven't disappointed me, Mr. Vegeta. This power is amazing, above Jiren and above Moro. It's leagues above anything I've ever seen before, that's for sure. Opening his eyes and then continuing, but I gotta say, Mr. Vegeta, what surprises me the most is your progress. You're a real genius. With a guy like you around, I'm going to have some real reason to keep getting stronger. And with these new forms you've shown me, I finally have something to work towards. I'm glad you're here. I've only ever seen one other who could improve so much in so little time, and that was Frieza. But I'd much rather fight alongside you next tournament than him. But King Vegeta is suddenly triggered immediately by the mention of Frieza, his arch nemesis, and in response, his face dramatically changes from smirking to angered as he then responds, fight alongside Frieza. Ah yes, after all, you are the Saiyan that spared the once Emperor of the Universe after defeating him, and then proceeded to promise to revive him if he helped you in some tournament. The Saiyan who would spare the life of and play a part in reviving the Frost Demon responsible for the near extinction of his entire species and death of his own family. Yes, you are that Saiyan, Kakarot, yet here you are trying to get revenge for me simply slapping your Earthling wife. You truly disgust me. And after saying that, King Vegeta then instantly disappears. Where did he go? Leaving Goku as a result wide-eyed, but his face then quickly turns to a comedic one, thinking as he reflects, and disgusts you? That's a bit harsh, don't you think? I mean, technically, it wasn't even me who revived him. It was Whis. But instantly, Goku is punched right in the face point blank by an enraged King Vegeta, who catches him lacking, yelling as he does so, "Be gone, you traitor!" Goku, of course, is sent flying and closes his eyes in pain, but in mid-air, he eventually opens his eyes and thinks, damn, that was fast! I let my guard down too. If I take too many of those, it won't be good. Damn it, I need to concentrate! But as Goku introspects, he soon becomes aware that King Vegeta is on his heels. Chasing him down, with a look of shock he reacts, looks like he's really trying now. With the chasing King responding, oh, believe me, the fight has well and truly begun now, Kakarot. You should pay better attention if you plan on not joining your father. Instantly arriving right above Goku, aiming to slam into him feet first and at full speed, screaming, "It's time to bury you in the dirt like you deserve! Die!" But with Goku now paying full attention, just before the King's attack lands, he too vanishes in the nick of time, leading to a massive explosion on the ground below. In the midst of the rubble, however, an angered King Vegeta remains grumbling. Typical coward! Where was your Ultra Instinct there? I expected some form of counter, not just a pathetic escape. Fight me like a Saiyan! Meanwhile, Goku, who had used his instant transmission, appears away from the king at a distance, and having regained himself, then says, "Phew, that was close. He really is going for the kill. I guess that's a Saiyan for you." His face then changes to serious though, as he gets into stance and continues, "Everything he's doing is insanely fast, much faster than before. But I can still just about see his movements at this level of Ultra Instinct. I can still win this." But as Goku looks on at the wave of smoke and debris from King Vegeta's earlier crash landing, suddenly, with a rush of speed, the king comes forward at Goku with a menacing force. Goku has barely any time at all to think as the king approaches at a speed faster than anything he's seen before. But ultimately, the power of Ultra Instinct still comes through, and Goku just about dodges by the skin of his teeth. Or at least he thought so. As Goku soon realizes his cheek was cut as blood begins to drip down, and he remarks, "He actually still got me. That speed, that was too close." King Vegeta, knowing he's getting closer and closer to outspeeding Ultra Instinct, then smirks as he says, "I'm impressed. These same attacks would have sent my son to the next dimension. I barely needed to even move to beat him. Keep it up while you can, kid, but you better keep watch of the time." And without missing a beat, King Vegeta then unleashes a barrage of attacks, but Goku still manages to dodge all of them one by one, and seemingly even better than before. With even a quick roundhouse from the king being effortlessly ducked by UI Goku. He then immediately looks up and says quietly, "So, you were looking for a counter, right, Mr. Vegeta? Then how's this?" Powerfully then uppercutting the king once again, sending his jaw brutally flying upwards. But unlike last time, King Vegeta isn't sent flying into the stratosphere, but instead slowly just stumbles backwards in pain and a hint of disbelief, as he eventually regains his footing and mutters angrily, "What? He got me? But how? I was getting closer and closer to outspeeding him, but now he's back to dodging everything I do. What is the meaning of this? You and your silly tricks! How dare you touch me in this form, you maggot! Stay down!" Immediately then throwing a key ball right at the stationary Goku. With an emotionless look, Ultra Instinct Goku easily swats it away behind him, leading to a background explosion. The king, much like his son though, does not give up, and unleashes a continued Ki Beam assault in response. Hey, that's Vegeta's technique. But before the Ki Beams can even land on the ground, Goku shoots off into the sky in the direction of the king. Swiftly, he dodges every single beam, alternating his direction each time while the blasts explode on the ground behind him. Before then instantaneously appearing right before a shocked King Vegeta, readying to launch a locked and loaded kick. With Goku then slamming his foot point blank into the king's face. But again, King Vegeta is not sent flying, but instead left injured and disorientated momentarily as he staggers backwards. As he inspects his injury with his open eye, he lets out, This isn't right! I've gone so far beyond the limits of these two kids! How has this Ultra Instinct ability managed to close so much of the gap? It should be child's play! But Goku, who can hear everything with his heightened senses, just interrupts with a cold look saying, "Just give it up, Mr. Vegeta. You can't beat me. The more I use this form, the better I get. The faster you become, the faster I can eventually react. You can't win, and I don't want to hurt you anymore." These patronizing words, however, immediately anger the king, who thinks to himself, "This brat betrayed his own race, cut off his own tail, and left his Saiyan heritage to steal the techniques of the angels instead. By my honor, Kakarot, I will show you the true power of a Saiyan god." Before then jumping back to create some space between himself and Goku. Goku, of course, looks on confused, asking, "Huh? What is he doing now? Don't tell me he has another transformation up his sleeve." But the king in response smirks and says, "No, this is my full power, Kakarot, and as shocking as it is to see you actually have the upper hand on me, all this is just you dodging and countering my attacks with your cowardly angel running. You don't fight like a Saiyan, let alone a god, so in that case, I'll force your hand." And following this, King Vegeta then grabs his arm and starts concentrating energy within it, thinking to himself as he does so, "Just try and dodge this the same way. Behold, my ultimate technique, a Vegeta Clan original reserved only for kings, one even Vegeta does not know." Soon enough, a ball of densely packed heat forms in the king's hand. So powerful, lightning and thunder waves begin to emanate from it as the king uses all of his concentration to keep the power under control. With his attack now ready, the king then lifts his arm up as if ready to fire and yells, "Don't blink now, Kakarot! You don't want to miss this! This is the power of the King's Cannon!" Immediately then blasting off an enormous energy beam. As the blast gets closer and closer to Goku, the younger Saiyan barely flinches and remains calm throughout. And without breaking a single sweat, Goku then begins placing his hands and arms in a familiar position and lets out Ka Mei Ha Mei instantly blasting a Kamehameha wave in response, but not in the way you would expect. Aiming it instead right at the floor to blast off into the sky, evading King Vegeta's attack entirely. With a smile on his face, Goku thinks to himself, "I don't need Ultra Instinct to dodge everything, Mr. Vegeta. And don't think I'm even done yet." What the? This rat just knows about every trick in the book to run, doesn't he? What is he doing now? And while the king looks on confused, Goku powers up yet another Kamehameha wave, but this time fires it from behind. Using the force of the energy wave to propel himself just as fast towards King Vegeta. All done at such a speed, King Vegeta has barely any time to stop his attack and react. What? He's moving faster than me using that damn beam! What is this? Kame! It's too late! I can't stop my King's Cannon! I need to defend myself in time! While Goku, looking down, knowing this is the end, just mutters, "Good try, Mr. Vegeta, but no one hits Chi-Chi." Immediately letting off his most powerful Kamehameha wave of the entire series. right on top of King Vegeta, who doesn't even have time to say a word, as he is lost in the bright light of the Turtle School's signature move. A massive explosion ensues, one more concentrated and intense than ever before, as Ultra Instinct Goku then calmly lands on the ground, knowing his job is finally done. He then lets out, "Sorry, Mr. Vegeta, but you've lost." And shockingly laying on the ground, completely damaged and back to his base form, is King Vegeta, who hostilely then mumbles, "My body! What have you done? I can't move." Inside his mind though, he questions further the power he just witnessed. Where the hell did that power come from? This technique, Ultra Instinct, it seems to call upon power from the angels themselves. There's no other explanation to where all this energy has come from. Meanwhile though, without fear, Goku approaches the fallen king and confidently remarks, "Wow, I can't believe you're still conscious, Mr. Vegeta. That same attack defeated Kefla, a powerful Fuse Saiyan from another universe. That form of yours is truly impressive. I can't believe how much further I have to go as a Saiyan. You seem to be able to survive any kind of beating. But I'm afraid that's all it's good for. There's no doubt you've become stronger power level wise than both me and Vegeta. But ultimately, if you can't hit me, all that strength is useless. And that's why you lost. That's the real reason I stopped trying to ascend as a Super Saiyan, and instead focused on training with Whis to perfect Ultra Instinct. And I guess you can now understand why." But King Vegeta, hearing this, with what little strength he seemingly has left, then struggles from his back and replies, "Useless, you say? And you think I somehow now understand why you'd abandoned your Saiyan potential for this? You are so sadly mistaken, Kakarot. Let me tell you this. If having all this power is useless when trying to hit the unhittable, just what do you call an ability that allows you to be near invincible, but only for the shortest of time limits?" His face then takes a sinister turn as he continues, "You may have noticed throughout this entire fight, I made sure to take my time to waste yours, showing you each of my transformations as you stared in awe, taking my time before each attack, charging my King's Cannon while you watched like an idiot, all the while using the power of my Super Saiyan 4 God form to survive each and every one of your attacks with ease. And by my timing, Arj has just about given you your max time in Ultra Instinct, Kakarot. This match is over. Do it, Arj!" Huh? And suddenly, just as King Vegeta predicted, Goku struck out of Ultra Instinct and covered in a black and purple lightning that ravages his body, the same thing that happened to him during his battle with Jiren. The pain and toll on his body eventually becomes unbearable as Goku now screams in pain, his body releasing all of its remaining energy just to save his life, before finally Goku collapses on his knees, holding his heart. No, I messed up. And unbelievably, King Vegeta, now spotting his chance, then slowly rises back to his feet, laughing, saying, "Just like clockwork, eh, Kakarot? Now it's you who knows why a Saiyan should always stick to his roots, traitor." Goku, noticing the king from the corner of his eyes, watches in disbelief and pain as he responds, "Huh? There's no way! How is he able to stand after that? No, was he pretending this whole time?" And King Vegeta, now moving like nothing happened, walks over, cockily past Goku, smiling and saying, "You really thought that measly beam was enough to finish me? Really? One attack? I've learned you brats on this planet seem to think the battle is over and you've won as soon as one of you goes down to base. Did it ever cross your peanut brain that maybe I just chose to power down to deceive you, huh? This is exactly why we Saiyans fight only to the death. Something you and Vegeta have forgotten. Just another trick to waste more of your precious time. All stemming from the unnecessary information you like to tell your opponents about your own abilities. From the minute you revealed you had a limited time in this form, my plan was set in motion instantly. You are no Saiyan, and you are not the ruthless warrior you were meant to be. You're soft and prone to letting yourself get carried away and letting your guard down. I would have thought you learned this lesson already from your battle with the Cerulean, but I guess not. And brutally, King Vegeta then kicks the down Goku, sending him flying across the floor. Mid-flight, just thinking, "No, it was all your plan. Damn it, I fell right into your trap." Eventually, Goku lands on the floor and immediately screams in agony as every part of his body is now damaged from his Ultra Instinct usage. Before he looks back at King Vegeta and says, "So, what now? You won, Mr. Vegeta. You got me. Are you going to kill me like a real Saiyan then?" To which King Vegeta just looks down coldly and responds, "So you're finally learning? I'm afraid so, Kakarot. That is the way of the Saiyans. When two true Saiyans clash, we only battle until the death. It's a shame it had to end this way, but I would be doing Bardock a disservice if I didn't give his son a proper warrior's death." And with that, King Vegeta then outstretches his hand with a final mysterious ball of energy, and Goku, knowing his time is finally up, just flashes back to his last moments with his family and says, "Dan, I brought this on myself. Chi-Chi, Gohan, I'm sorry." And as if King Vegeta could sense Goku's thoughts, as soon as Goku finishes his farewell, King Vegeta yells, immediately firing at the motionless Goku on the floor, covering his whole body in the blast, as both he and Goku then become engulfed in the ensuing bright white light. And just like that, Son Goku is no longer seen, seemingly destroyed forever and turned to nothing more than dust. However, a confused and shocked Goku is suddenly then seen in the aftermath, grabbing his own body to see if what he's experiencing is real, as he questions, "Wait, I'm still alive? I'm still alive! Mr. Vegeta, did you just give me your key? What happened to fighting to the death? I thought I was a goner." And King Vegeta, who is now smiling warmly, looks on at Goku and responds, "Well, I said Saiyans do that, but you are no Saiyan to me, Kakarot. You're a soft earthling that still has a lot to learn about being a warrior. And besides, you don't even have a tail. The truth is, I never intended to kill you. Just to test my strength against yours and that fabled angel technique Vegeta kept telling me about. I attacked Gohan and Chi-Chi just to push your kind-hearted self to snap. But I guess that training with Miris has helped you control your emotions. A necessary step from what I understand to use that technique. I don't think that's something I could ever bring myself to master. So I'll stick to my natural Saiyan abilities, thank you. He then continues though, but that technique of yours is quite something. It's unbelievable how it could somehow breach the gap between our progression in our Saiyan transformations. I've gone past you by 3 different stages, and yet you still managed to get the upper hand. But as we've learned, it comes at a cost. That form has too short a time limit to be relied on. I heard it happened against Jiren, and it's happened here too. If this planet ever has to face a foe that could actually last in battle, you would be left defenseless on the ground just as you were, while Chi-Chi and your loved ones would be slaughtered. Meanwhile, my power as a Super Saiyan 4 God would remain indefinitely. In essence, your Ultra Instinct is a nice trick, but ultimately, once your time's up, you're a sitting duck. Literally. Goku, after hearing this, then realizes the truth behind the king's words and places his hand behind his head as he thinks hard, looking at the floor. You're right, Mr. Vegeta. I have kind of relied way too much on that technique. It's just come in handy against so many foes. But you're right when you say that if things had just lasted a fraction longer, things could have gone ugly real fast. Come to think of it, the moment I first unlocked it during the Tournament of Power, all the way till now, I haven't tapped into a single new transformation. I've just been focusing on stacking Ultra Instinct on the transformations I have already. I guess I've just forgotten what it's like to... And King Vegeta quickly interrupts. You've forgotten what it's like to be a Saiyan, Kakarot. There is one thing you should always know, and that is, gods and angels aside, we Saiyans are special beings. The only beings in the multiverse with the ability to constantly become stronger and have no limits. Our power grows stronger by the day, and the limit to our forms is never ending. For as long as you stay trying to master a technique not meant for mortals, the less and less you become in tune with your Saiyan heritage. In the pursuit of becoming like an angel, the one thing I feel you and Vegeta have forgotten is that one day, we Saiyans could surpass even them. The fact that hasn't even crossed your mind is what has limited your progress. He then looks up into the sky though and says, Anyway, that's enough of a lecture from this old man. Do with this information as you wish. I said I would punish you for your hand in reviving Frieza, and I'd say I've accomplished just that. You know the fear of death by my hand, and that's something you'll live with forever. But with the power I wield now, that vermin Frieza will spend not even a second more breathing. I'm leaving now to find where he's hiding. I worked under him for years, so I have a few inklings into where he could be. I'll be back once I've retrieved his head. And with that, King Vegeta then suddenly flies off into the sky without a word more of goodbye to Goku. But Goku is shocked at his sudden departure, then yells after him from below, Wait, Mr. Vegeta! You can't go yet! Just wait a little while and I'll get Whis to tell us where he is. Besides, at least let my dad come too. I brought him back to life while you were training, and he'll be back here soon. I bet he'd want to get a chance at Frieza too. But Bardock is alive! Stopping a completely taken off guard King Vegeta right in his tracks, unable to say a single word more. But that was it for today's video, guys, and if you made it this far, leave me a hashtag Bardock Returns in the comments down below. As you know, this entire manga you're reading has been created by myself, and if you wish to read it for yourself in its entirety, you can do so by just supporting me on Patreon, where there are tons of rewards at each tier, starting as low as $3. Links in the description and pinned comment, but if you want to see more of my signature style of content, just click on one of these two videos on the right now. Until next video, guys, cheers.